Welcome to Friendly Argument with Andrew Bernard and Jeremy Jones.
Let's do this.
New stuff,
All the tangents.
some politics, booze,
Some more politics.
stuff about Kansas, and lots of cheer scenes.
Friendly Argument is a podcast showcasing conversations that seek common ground across the aisle of American politics, as well as a few laughs. We hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for watching.
This is Friendly Argument with Andrew Bernard and Jeremy Jones.
Hello.
This is our recap of the episode. You asked for it. We're attempting to give it to you. All right. So we talked about a couple things, or big things. So first was the riots on. Is it going to be 1/6? Is that what it's 9/11 now? 6. Yeah.
Sure.
January 6th, and maybe we'll coin the phrase and make millions off of it.
Boom.
Yeah. All right. So basically, we both agreed the riots were very, very bad. They were. I think we didn't talk about it, but I think we both agreed they were both insurrection, like definitionally.
Agreed. Yeah. Full on insurrection.
Yeah. Did we have much actual conversation about it, about the riots after that?
I mean, I saw more. I wanted to get your reaction of it, which it mostly I thought was a thoughtful conservative take, which was not supporting Trump, not 100% to blame, but definitely
it was a
significant contributor.
Yeah. Yeah. So Trump's not completely to blame. Definitely didn't help the city. Like was not completely to blame, but was a contributing factor.
And then we talked about like the Wall Street Journal, should he resign?
Mm-hmm.
Washington Journal called for him to resign.
Yeah, did we talk about what he actually should? I don't think we talked about what he should do so much as we moved into one of our other main points of the conversation, which was where do conservatives go from here?
Right.
I'll go ahead and let you tell me what you heard me say, because that might be a better way.
Okay. Making those strong arguments. So Andrew, what I believe you said the conservative America, or the Republican Party, I'll say, should do is say, hey, there was some things that were done wrong, not cool things, but great. The great news is, the last 4 years, this Trump guy gave us X, Y, and Z wins. And going forward, we think these other 3 or 4 folks can give us all of that same trajectory of wins minus, some of the liabilities that he had.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that the way to synopsize the synopsis, I don't know if that's the right way, but we'll go with it. I'm sure my lawyer brother will correct me at some point. Is that we basically need teleprompter Trump. We need a teleprompter Trump.
But it couldn't be Trump.
No, it couldn't be Trump. We need someone who is like Trump when he was on teleprompter.
Yeah.
Forward. Someone who's willing to at least be perceived as fighting back against the institutional culture, but is at least well spoken and not constantly making it about him.
Check.
That's where the Republican Party needs to go. So then we kind of moved into our second of 3 big things, which was free speech as basically free speech as a conservative versus liberal values.
It's based on the Parler being kind of
being shut down by big tech.
Right.
Yeah.
And
do you want to go ahead and you want to give the synopsis there as well?
Well, I did I synopsized you.
Okay.
You can synopsize.
Right. So I think our basic conversation boiled down. It took us a while to get there because I think there was some disconnect in what we were actually talking about. But I think the basic premise of what we eventually got to was that you think that the liberals think that, hey, we haven't quite done enough to figure out where the boundaries are for free speech. and the conservatives are saying, hey, free speech is being tamped down. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, with just and mentioning logic and critical thinking like a million.
Yeah. So your point, I think your main point was that any set of ideas should be able to go through any logical and critical thinking
filter.
Thank you. And once it goes through that, it can be put into the realm of mainstream ideas. And I think where I was having the problem with it is like, well, that's fine, but you can't. I don't think that limiting it. People can come to different conclusions with logical and critical thinking if they're starting at different points. But the main thrust of my idea was that the more stuff you have, the better ideas shine through. The more light you have, the better disinfectant.
If only that were true. It's elegant. It's elegant as all get out. I love it. I love it on paper.
And so this is where there are things about the world you believe that I think are bunk, and things about the world I believe that you think are bunk. And this may be this is one of those areas.
But one of the things about this area that was great was that it kind of led us to a really, I think we'll probably do a whole podcast on that, topic, because it was a really ripe area for really, I thought really good disagreements and on all that, but really like the fundamentals of the differences.
Well, because the agreement area that we had was that neither of us want to become China, and we don't want to be Hong Kong versus China in the areas of free speech and rights and liberties.
Exactly.
But but now we have to have that conversation as America is like, okay, well, what do these mean? Like, where's our closed hand issue there? And so that will probably be our topic next week. Yeah. Anything else to add on that one?
No, I think we're going to add a whole lot more next week.
I'm sure we will. So the final thing we did is we looked at an Axios article that I'm forgetting the title of. Let me see if I was a smart child. Yes, I did. So the title of the article was Our New Reality, Free Americas, over on Axios.com. It is by Jim Vandehey. And the basic, I won't say the basic premise of the article, but the part we talked about was there's a blue America, red America, and Trump America, and how big is blue America kind of doesn't matter, and they probably ought to matter more in the conversation, but it's not the one we had. The conversation we had was how big is red America versus Trump America?
And I will forgive us for leaning so heavily on that. I mean, just particularly after, January 6th.
Yeah, well, and it's the current question of the moment. I don't think it's necessarily as important of a question, because I think where does blue America go is a much more currently apt question, but it's not the interesting question at the moment, because as you mentioned that the Republican Party is at a crossroads and where we're going to go. And so that's what everyone's going to be interested in, because that's the new and exciting thing. And we'll probably be having this conversation about blue America in 6 months' time when the legislation starts doing things.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. And I would say that crossroads is important as well.
Yeah, but we're not at that crossroads. I mean, I'm scared of that crossroads, but that we're not currently
the red Trump crossroad that we're at currently. I think is important too.
Yeah, it is important. I just think I would say it's maybe not as important in the grand scheme of things, but it's the one that's happening right now, so it's the more interesting one. The big takeaways, at least for me, were I don't think that Trump America is actually all that big. Would you say that you think that it is bigger or less big than red America?
I try not to answer questions that I know I can't answer, but I
was asking for a gut level
reaction.
It's
smaller.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the answer. I was asking a gut level question, so I wanted a gut level response. Yeah.
That's the gut level response.
Yeah. I guess what did you think what were your big takeaways from that part of the conversation?
My big takeaways were again, thinking about if I was the head of the RNC, what I would be doing and thinking and trying to steer us in that way. And then you had your sort of take on, and they were pretty similar. They were similar.
Yeah, it was
2/3, I would say.
Yeah, I think we agreed that we both agreed that it is that the RNC should take like all the W's and the good ideas and really, really like find somebody and harp on them. Like find a Nikki Haley or I don't know how Ted Cruz is going to do because he was involved in the whole I don't
sedition.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it sedition because I don't think like none of them thought it was going to go anywhere. But yeah. Either way, so a Nikki Haley, maybe a Ben Sass, Dan Crenshaw type, who is a well-spoken, well-reasoned fighter, who can kind of just move the Republican Party forward. And where we had our difference was that you as the political analyst for the RNC thought let's dump Trump as much as possible, whereas I was saying no, we need to say, hey, Trump acted poorly, but he governed well.
That was in the grand scheme of things, not a monumental difference.
No, but I think because I think the big difference within that difference was that I, as a conservative, see that what Trump did towards the institutional culture as being more helpful, whereas I think you would argue that it was more detrimental. Yelling at the media, yeah.
I don't think he did much great. So like,
yeah. I mean, granted, which is also why I'm more inclined to be like keep parts of him, whereas you're like dump him wholesale.
Yeah, don't take any of the liability, any more liability than you have to, based on his name.
Yeah.
Like total strategist brain.
Yeah, which I again, and I think I said this, is I agree with that on principle. I just think that there's outside factors that change the bottom line at the end of the day. Yeah.
Agree. Sure.
Yep.
I hear you.
Yeah. Anywho, so Jeremy Jones.
That was the synopsis. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say, Jeremy Jones, we synopsized a political and cultural conversation. I don't think we've ceased to be friends in the like two minutes in between hitting record twice.
You made it. You made it, bud. Well done.
So we were friends before.
Friends during.
And friends after. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bud.
I definitely had nothing in there.
You had nothing tonight?
And no, I mean I had my Diet Coke and chai, which is again amazing, but I drank it all like at least an hour ago.
Welcome to Friendly Argument with Andrew Bernard and Jeremy Jones.
Let's do this.
New stuff,
All the tangents.
some politics, booze,
More politics.
stuff about Kansas, and lots of cheersings.
Friendly Argument is a podcast showcasing conversations that seek common ground across the aisle of American politics, as well as a few laughs. We hope you guys enjoy, and thanks for watching.